Hey everyone, it's Mr. Dillo here, and today we're going to find out if I can beat Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu with only the starter Pikachu. Now, looking at her stats, it's easy to say the best thing she has going for her is her speed, and while her attack and special attack are decent, I'll have to find a way to make her moveset work. As for the rules of this challenge, I can't use any Pokemon in battle besides the starter Pikachu. However, I will be needing to catch 50 Pokemon in order to enter Koga's gym, so along the way, I'll catch any Pokemon I can find. No items in battle. Held items are not in this game, so I can't even use that. So the only thing left would be the battle items, but no items. And if I do beat the challenge, there's a secret fight against Green I want to attempt, but honestly, I'm not sure if I can even win that. With the inclusion of the Let's Go exclusive moves, Pikachu has access to some great coverage, but I don't know if that will be enough to carry me through the challenge. Realistically, I don't believe I can beat the champion without being at least level 70, but I'll try at whatever level I beat the final gyms at. Now go ahead and leave a comment down below on if you think I can do this, and let's get started. Since the Pokemon I need to complete this challenge is my starter Pikachu, the only thing I have to worry about is its name. So I got my friends to suggest some names, and I flipped a coin to see who I choose. And it turns out that Jairus wins the coin toss, so Jairus gets to choose the name of my Pikachu, and I'll use whatever leftover name from Tony and apply that to my rival. So we have Pikachu Chaplin and our rival Chap. Don't get the two mixed up. Looking at Chaplin's stats, it's okay, but definitely could be better, especially since we got a less than ideal nature. She has a gentle nature, which means more special defense and less defense, which really sucks since ground types are the bane of her existence in this run. All ground type moves are physical. Now that we have our Pikachu settled in, let's get this challenge started. We deliver the parcel from Viridian City back to Professor Oak, and we get our first rival battle. Unfortunately, I didn't level up Chaplin beforehand, so we're facing off a level 6 EV. It's not that scary, but still. However, after a few Thundershocks, we take it down, and I guess it really didn't matter. Upon leaving Palatown, we are introduced to the Play with Pikachu feature, which is a simplified version of Pokemon and Me. It's a good way to increase friendship, which increases crit and dodge chances, so I definitely will be utilizing this feature. I go ahead and pick up an Onyx on Route 1 as all needed to enter the Pewter Gym. I'll also catch some more Pokemon so I can evolve them later and get closer to the 50 I need for later on in the run. I go ahead and move to the left of Viridian City for the next rival fight. He sends out Pidgey, and it goes down to one Thundershock. Eevee gets sent out next, and we trade attacks before I finally take him down with only 1 HP remaining. I really wasn't expecting this to be close so early on, so I go ahead and heal up and head for Viridian Forest. I fight every trainer in there, as I desperately need more experience, and hit level 9 and finally learn Double Kick, the only way we're going to be able to beat Brock. I finally make it to Pewter City, and we meet a rival who gives us some potions. Then I make my way left to the museum and talk to the lady with the Slowpoke. She needs someone to babysit her Slowpoke, and in return, we get a big pearl. So that's a great way to earn some money early on. I head to the gym and defeat the 2 trainers with ease and move on to Brock. I'm a bit underleveled, but I go ahead and try, as I really don't want to spend time grinding. First out is this Geodude who only uses Tackle, so 2 double kicks take it out. Next is his Onyx, and he is a lot tankier. He hits us with a rock throw in the head by leaving us on 11 HP, but once we land our 3rd double kick, we win the fight. I honestly thought this battle would be a lot tougher, but considering he was the first gym, I guess they wanted to make him easy, especially on our first attempt. He gives us a TM for Headbutt, which is really confusing since he's a rock gym leader, but we accept it and teach it to Chaplin as is much stronger than Quick Attack. I head right to Pewter City and make my way to Mount Moon. Right before I do, I heal up at the Pokemon Center and buy the Magikarp from the old man, as I will need this to progress. Inside Mount Moon, you get a fossil after winning a battle against the scientist. I'm not really sure what he is, but we get the fossil for the Lord himself. Anyways, down the path you run into Jesse and James from the anime, and they challenge you to a battle for the fossil. My first attempt goes poorly as it's mandatory double battle, and Magikarp immediately fades. Since I still have the rest of my party filled, I have to reset. The only reason for me to have a Magikarp is so that it can use Splash repeatedly and not really affect the fights. And since Jesse and James are the only double battles in the game, I have to keep in mind when and where these double battles occur so that I can just remove every party member from my team and just keep Magikarp. So after resetting and depositing our team, except Chaplain and Magikarp, it's an easy win and we make our way out of Mount Moon. I finally make it to Cerulean City and we head for the Pokemon Center to heal. While inside I talk to the move tutor who teaches Chaplain Zippy Zap, a much better electric type move for the time being. With this I can probably defeat the gym, but I want to try the rival fight first. He once again starts off with Pidgey and it goes down to a one shot. Next is Oddish and we make it flinch with a headbutt and another takes it out. Last is Eevee, and two Zippy Zaps take it out without ever being hit. After that, we head for the water gym and easily sweep our team. I make my way to Bill's house, pass the bridge, and help him out with his machine, and in return, I get some SS tickets and make my way back to Cerulean City to the Dig House. I fight the Team Rocket member and get the TM for Dig, which will help us for most of the run as it easily takes out electric and poison types. We forget Headbutt and teach Dig to Chaplain and move towards Vermilion City. Along the way, I meet with Chap, who seductively approaches me. Anyways, Zippy Zap gets replaced when we level up and learn Thunderbolt. I was unsure as to what to keep, but I think having Thunderbolt crits would get me more damage in the long run. Also, along the way, I fight an Ace Trainer and get 5 Pikachu candies. These are special candies that increase all stats at once. It's such a blessing to get these in this run. Once I make my way to Vermilion City, I heal up and board the SS Anne, fight every trainer and collect every item on board, and I also meet this guy who probably wasn't expecting a 10-year-old to enter his cabin. I head to the front of the ship where me and Chaplain have a Titanic moment. After all that, we have our next rival fight, and it ended up being pretty easy, despite Oddish really messing us up. I feel like grass and ground types are really going to be the hardest to go up against, until we learn the special moves, but that doesn't happen until much later. We learn the secret technique, Chop Down, and leave the ship. We heal up and head for the gym. The trash can puzzle was a breeze, and now we have to fight Lieutenant Surge. I one-shot his Voltorb and Magnemite, but Raichu holds on and we hit him again with a dig for the win. I was honestly surprised that I outsped his Raichu even though I was underleveled, but it just goes to show how much these candies are a blessing this early in the run. We get the Thunderbolt TM, which will be great if we ever have to relearn it later. We make our way through Diglett Cave and learn the secret technique Light Up, an equivalent to Flash. I go and move towards Rock Tunnel where I get stalled by a trainer with a Sand Shroom. I have to resort to using double teams to evade his attacks, but unfortunately he's not the only trainer I have issues with, as Rock Tunnel is full of hikers that use rock and ground types. I finally make my way to Rock Tunnel and we meet Lorelei, an Elite Four member, and we take down Team Rocket together. Right before I enter Rock Tunnel, I battle the Ace Trainer and get my hands on Brick Break, which definitely helps with hikers inside. I try to avoid any and all hikers I can, but there is one mandatory hiker, but he wasn't too much trouble. Eventually I make my way out and head to Lavender Town. I go ahead and try the rival fight in Pokemon Tower and it goes rather easily. As Pidgeotto goes down to with Thunderbolt and the rest of his team take a few digs before they go down. After taking him out, I leave the Pokemon Tower and work my way to Celadon City, but on our way we make a fatal mistake and accidentally get into a fight with an Ace Trainer who has a Doug Trio. It takes us down with an Earthquake and we have to reset. Next time around, I avoid the trainer and we finally make it to Celadon City. In the Pokemon Center, we learn Floaty Fall, a flying type move that has 90 power and 95 accuracy. It will be a great way to deal with Erica. Speaking of, Erica time. Unfortunately, her Tangela is able to take her Floaty Falls quite well and deals massive damage with Mega Drain. We start back up, but this time I start by setting up some double teams. But Tangela hits a Sleep Powder somehow on the first turn and we end up taking a Mega Drain. And unfortunately our evasion cannot stop the Mega Drain, so I'll have to come back later when we do more damage. I go back and level up on trainers I skipped on the previous routes before I try again. Of course, I get hit twice by the Sea King's Horn Drill, a one-hit KO move with only 30 accuracy. Both times he hit me on the first try. I thought this was super unlikely, but my friend Tony said that if my level is higher than the Pokemon that's using it, the accuracy gets boosted, which was really unlucky for me. Next time around I use a couple double teams to evade it and get him out with 2 Thunderbolts. For being less than halfway done with the game, I can't believe I'm getting stalled this hard. I move on to the game corner to level up in the Team Rocket hideout, and I get to the grunt that has a lift key, and of course he throws it on top of the walls. So what happens? Is all hope lost? No, because somehow we end up remote controlling Chaplain. I have no idea why this is the only place that this mechanic happens, so it definitely could have just been cut out. Nonetheless, we get the key and head on out. We make it to Jesse and James where we easily take them out. Next is Archer, Giovanni's right-hand man. He sends out Wheezing and we almost take it down, but then we get poisoned and overcome it in the same turn. We take it out next turn, and then he sends out his Golbat, which goes down to a Thunderbolt. Now next is what I've been fearing, Giovanni. He uses ground types, so I have to be extra careful. Luckily he starts off with Persian, so we can easily set up some double teams, while he hits us with a few slashes and brings us down to 16 HP. Next is Reinhorn, and if he hits any move, Chaplain gets taken down. I go for a dig and take him below half health, and one more dig gets us the win. I like how the issue I thought I was going to run into this would be one of his ground type Pokemon, but his Persian was so much scarier. I had to keep double team on from here on out. There's no way I can win without it. Now that we're level 40, let's try Erica again. Now first is our Tangela, and it lands a Mega Drain, but we were able to get a bunch of double teams off, and haven't been hit since. 2 Floaty Falls take it out, and the same goes for Vileplume. Finally, Weeping Bell goes down to 1 Floaty Fall, and I get the badge. It's funny to think that all I needed to do before was get good evasion luck, but she always ended up hitting Mega Drain. With that done, we head back to the Pokemon Tower and make our way to the top. Here I use the Silph Scope and identify the ghost as Cubone's mother, and we head up to the top where Mr. Fuji is. We have yet another double battle with Jesse and James, but as usually we mop the floor with it. We get the Pokeflute and go wake up the Snorlax south of Lavender Town, battle it, and then attempt to catch it for the Pokedex. Yes, we will meet our 50 Pokemon for the next gym, and we are barely just over 40. 1 Raspberry and an Ultra Ball later, and we have a Snorlax. I go down what used to be Cycling Road and finally get my 50th Pokemon, so I can actually enter the Fuchsia Gym. Along the way I go ahead and skip every trainer so I can go back if I need to grind later. Finally make it to Fuchsia City, and now I have access to Splishy Splash, a great move for Chaplain to learn that'll finally give us some much needed coverage against ground types. But before I learn that, Koga time. Wheezing goes down to a Pika Papao and a Thunderbolt, but because Muck spams Protect, I get poisoned and eventually faint. Okay, maybe if I set up some double teams I can win. Of course, our second attempt doesn't go any smoother as 1 explosion takes us down. I think I'll have to grind and come back a few levels higher and maybe I can win. After grinding and getting 5 rare candies from the nice trainer in Seafoam Islands, Chaplain reaches level 35, so it's time for another attempt. While I finally take down his Muck, the poison damage was too much and Chaplain goes down. Also, I just realized I wasn't recording this battle, so here's my next attempt. And of course, poison damage takes me out again. What didn't make sense was how Toxic would hit while I was underground, until I read that poison types always hit Toxic, no matter what. Luckily, my next attempt I get amazing poison luck to take out his team with only 6 HP remaining. Had 1 more turn pass, and I would have been a goner. Now that I'm done with Koga, I finally get rid of Dig for Splishy Splash and move on. I head to Silph next, where we are challenged by Blue. Of course, because of us being severely overleveled, it was a one-shot sweep. Next we head to floor 5 and have a double battle against Archer with our rival. Of course it was easy and we got the card key. I finally make my way to the 11th floor, but it looks like Magikarp has to make yet another appearance to continue, as we have one more battle with Jesse and James. After we take them out, it's time for Giovanni. I max out my double teams on his Persian to not risk getting hit with a ground type move later. Fortunately he chooses the worst moves and I take him out easily. I take on the Fighting Dojo, where I pick out a Hitmonchan. Of course, it just gets boxed. Next, I challenge Sabrina. Out first is Mr. Mime, but it goes down after a few hits. Next is Slowbro, and it gets taken down by a Thunderbolt. Next is Jinx, who goes down to 2 Thunderbolts, and last is Alakazam, who suffers the same fate. Next, we head back to Pallet Town and surf down on the route below. I go ahead and fight any trainers I run into, and make my way to Cinnabar Island. I'll make my way through Pokemon Mansion and get the secret key so I can open Blaine's gym. Speaking of which, Blaine time. His gym is basically just a quiz show, so after a few right answers we can battle him. Of course, after some bad luck we get taken out. I might have to set up some double teams for my next attempt and see if I can win that way. Unfortunately, we have to go through the quiz every time to progress, so no need to mention this anymore since I already know the answers, but my button mashing does lead me to an unnecessary fight. Anyways, our second attempt starts off with us maxing out our double teams and taking out this Magmar. Rapidash goes down in 2 hits, Arcanine is out, but he goes down to a one-shot. Last is Ninetales, and we land a Splishy Splash, but it only takes it down to yellow. And after dodging an attack, we hit it once more for the win. One gym left, and it's the one I've been dreading, Giovanni's Ground-type gym. I have a feeling that if we get hit by even one Ground-type move, we'll faint, so I either have to hope for one-shots or get lucky with double team. Giovanni time. I take out his Doug Trio no problem, but his Nidoqueen and Nidoking seem to be an issue. I'll have to come back in a few levels just when I think I can one-shot. I try again at level 62, and I basically just sweep his entire team despite being hit by an earthquake. Outside the gym, we meet up with Blue, and he takes over the Viridian City gym. We heal up, and we take on our rival before the Elite Four. Our first attempt doesn't go smoothly, so I reset and hope I can set up some double teams. I max out double teams on his Pidgeot, but get hit by 2 sand attacks, so my accuracy is down. I have some issues taking down Vileplume, but eventually goes down. Marowak goes down to 2 Splishy Splashes, and last a Jolteon. It takes a few hits, but gets us down to 3 HP before we finish it off with Thunderbolt. I really don't have coverage for Electric types, so I have to just brute force it, as I need all the moves I currently have if I even want to stand a chance at beating the Elite Four. I finally make my way to Victory Road and quickly make my way out into the Pokemon League. Time to face the Elite Four. First up is Lorelei, an Ice-type trainer with many being dual-watered, so Thunderbolt makes easy work of her team. Before I head up, I use some PowerPoint ups to increase the amount of power points for Thunderbolt. Up next is Fighting Trainer Bruno, who uses mostly Rock and Fighting types, so he really wasn't an issue. After the battle, I use an Ether on Thunderbolt and move on to Ghost Trainer Agatha. She uses mostly Poison and Ghost types, so I try to just brute force it, but I get poisoned too many times. Of course, even with a few double teams, I get hit and poisoned. I'll just have to grind on Lorelei and Bruno until I can successfully one-shot her team. Even at level 67, I'm too weak to take down her team without fainting to poison. I got a lot closer this attempt, so I just need to try to land a few more crits when I need to. Eventually, I get this run where I have amazing flinch luck and I can move on. Next, before the champion, is Dragon Tamer Lance. I take out nearly his entire team with a one-shot, but get taken down by Dragonite. I feel like I can do this with some double team luck, and my next attempt is exactly what I was hoping for, and I take down Lance rather easily. Last is the Pokemon champion, our rival Chad. He Mega Evolves his Pidgeot, which goes down to a Thunderbolt. Vileplume's out next, and he goes down to a few Floaty Balls. Rapidash is out, and we nearly take it down with a Splishy Splash, but we get hit hard while he uses a full restore. One critical Thunderbolt takes it out, and Marowak is out. It goes down to a Splishy Splash, and Slowbro is out next, and he faints to 1 Thunderbolt. Last out is his Jolteon. We are already low on health, so we trade attacks until I hold out with 1 HP left. When I think it's all over, something weird happens. Jolteon hits us with a quick attack, which normally would have made us faint, saying that we were only on 1 HP. However, we somehow tough it out and hit him for the win. Just like that, we are the Pokemon champion. I honestly thought this challenge would be a lot harder, but it turns out Let's Go games make it incredibly easy for you to make your partner in Pokemon land more crits, end status afflictions, and even dodge attacks. Of course, while I have beat the champion and completed the game, I want to see if I'm able to beat the secret green fight in Cerulean Cave. I doubt I'll be able to win without being at least a few levels higher. I mean, just look at her team. But in order to fight green, you have to catch Mewtwo first, leave, and then go back in to where Mewtwo was. Now that's easier said than done, as Mewtwo easily takes us down with 2 hits. Eventually I get into the battle, but I get crushed several times over and over again. I decide I cannot win unless I grind, so I go find rare candies that respawn for this day. I caught some Pokemon to level up. Luckily, there's Chanseys inside, so I'm able to level up pretty fast. Try again at level 75. She starts off with Clefable, who goes down to yellow off an Iron Tail. One more takes it out, but not before she sets up a light screen. Next is Ninetales, of which I got amazing paralysis luck, and it never hit Chaplain. Victreebel goes down to 2 Floaty Falls due to some incredible flinching luck. Gengar hits us with a Sludge Bomb and finally goes down to Thunderbolt next turn. Kangaskhan comes out next, and once again, due to some incredible flinching luck, it goes down rather easily. Last is her Blastoise, which immediately Mega Evolves, but 1 Pika Pawpaw takes it down and we win the challenge. Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought. I knew there would be some issues with ground types, but once I learned Splishy Splash, it was just a breeze. I think the Let's Go games were made easier to let new players get introduced to the games. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any ideas on what I should do next, leave a comment down below. As for the next challenge, I think I'll be doing my favorite Pokemon in my favorite generation. Can I beat Pokemon Emerald with only a Magnemite? So subscribe to stay tuned on when I'll upload next, because I have plans for other videos as well. Maybe if you enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy the black and white randomized soul link me and my friend Tony are doing. Also, be sure to join my friend's Discord server, I'll link it down below. I told him I'd give it a shout out, so hopefully more people join. Actually, go ahead and sub to both of them as well. They have plans for some great content, and their links are in the description. Anyways, thanks for watching.